I do want to rewind a little bit. We've talked about Ring of Honor, we talked about AEW, and more of like the recent stuff, but I do want to rewind and kind of talk a little bit about how you kind of got involved in this like unconventional world of pro wrestling and how you decided like, hey, I'm going to pursue this career and become a pro wrestler.
So I have been a fan since I was maybe like 8 or 9 years old, right? Like I used to play video games with my cousins, and I was like, this is really cool. Why am I not watching wrestling? So I started watching wrestling. Um, Completely kind of like, I guess, changed my life. I never like think of it that way, but it really did change my life. Because at that point I was hooked. I was like big fan. I wanted to go to whatever show would be in my area. I would like go to school in wrestling t-shirts. I became like the wrestling girl. Um, and like a little bit of my love died down when I was in high school, just because like nobody else was really into it, and teenagers get into whatever teenage things. Um, and I went to college. I went to Northeastern University, which was in Boston, and I went there for a year. And that's kind of when my love for wrestling like really started picking up again, because a girl in my dorm room, Grace, was like, I want to watch this show. I can't pay for it by myself. So does anyone want to split it? I was like, I'm going to split it with you. So we watched WrestleMania, I think it was 29. And I was like, that's it. I'm hooked. I love wrestling again. I was like getting really into like Joshi wrestling at this time. This is kind of when I discovered Ring of Honor and other women in independent wrestling. Shimmer was like a big thing for me. Shimmer was like a huge inspiration. And I was like, I'm just going to become a wrestler. I'm just going to do it. College didn't work out for me. Like financially, it was really hard. So I was like, we're just going to take a leap of faith and see what happens. And from the time I started wrestling, it wasn't like the thing I was like, I'm going to try this out. I started wrestling and I was like, this is what I do now. I am a wrestler. That was in 2014 that I started training, and I really haven't looked back since. I'm pretty fortunate that things have been just getting better every year.
It's kind of wild though when you think about like moments that happen. Like this girl wanted to watch the show and you're like, yeah, let's watch it. All right, cool. And then that
Yeah.
ended up leading to like changing your entire life and your life's trajectory. So, I gotta ask because you're in college and then you're, going in, you leave that and you decide to be a wrestler. What was your family's reaction where it's like you're leaving this like sure thing of school to going and becoming a wrestler? And I know that parents must see it as like, circus performing or God knows what they see it as. They don't see it as a viable career, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, the big thing was like my parents were like, we can't tell you what to do. You're legally an adult. If you can get yourself to wrestling training and back, and you're paying for it, and you're the one who's like taking all the steps to make it happen, so be it. At the time, I didn't have my driver's license, and I live on Long Island. So I was living closer to Queens, and where I was training, NYWC, is out in Deer Park. So it's about a 40-minute drive from where I was living, but I used to take the train. Again, didn't have a car, so I couldn't even take my car to the train station. So I would hop on my bike from my house to the train station, take my bike on the train, take the train, get off, bike to the school. So I was doing this for like a couple months. Eventually, like the dudes over at NYWC were like, listen, you're a family now. We'll pick you up from the train station and bring you here. So you don't have to keep biking. And like it's late at night. It's not like necessarily the best area for, like a 20-year-old girl to be riding her bike alone at night. So they started picking me up. And then eventually my mom was like, okay, you've made these sacrifices. I can see you're serious about this. I'll drive you to and from the train station. So I was really just kind of like, I'll make it happen. Whatever I have to do, it's going to happen, you know?